Okay, I've had my Facebook hacked by a lady, apparently from New Zealand, but it was hacked in London, and my photograph was changed, my email um, and my number were changed, and this occurred in London. As I said, it's quite ridiculous, really. Facebook said they had sussed it out, yet she was able to get away with these things. So I wanted to get her off my Facebook. So I said that my Facebook had been impersonated and reported it. So they naturally deactivated it. I asked for a reset password to be sent to my email address, and they say they gave me the opportunity to ask for that when I accessed Facebook help and support, but it never gets sent to me. And I know that my old Facebook profile, because I only have two spare ones which I don't use frequently, and haven't got half the information this one has on them. And I know it's there because the photograph comes up even though it's been deactivated as an old profile. I just don't get the reset sent to me, because they keep sending the means by which to reset it as her numbers and email still. And some people say, oh well, once it's hacked, there's a possibility you can't get back to it. And then I'm signposted to ethical hackers, which isn't, could cost nearly £200, or certainly over £150, when it could be solved by Facebook Meta. And I've always been sort of supportive of the community on Facebook. I supported the community community help movement during COVID, and I'm very proactive with my posts. That I like to share pictures of nature, and ethical and compassionate quotes. I love to share pictures of fun pictures of animals. It's not just that though. The most important thing is I've got digitalised photos of my family, loads of them, loads of memories, pictures of me, which are not on the other accounts. I've got my stories, my archive stories, and what's even more interesting, I've got my business pages, some of which were carried on from childhood hobbies, such as my fun facts about dogs, which is doing very well. I'm also registered as an Usborne partner, so what's a couple of pages are devoted to maybe building on that. I've got my business ideas, my ideas on spirituality and astrology, which are good for business, or future inspirational ideas. I've got my poetry, which is copious, on my poetry anthology. I've built up my Facebook and over a long time, and I've got a lot of friends, but some of them are old friends, which is even more important. But I know I'm quite globally friendly, but that surely presents an ethical stance on things. And a lot of friends apart from the ones in Tarpley, I don't see, and even the ones in Tarpley I'm not always seeing. So it's an opportunity to engage. And also the guy that graphically designed some of my poems is on there. A lot of people that I'm in contact with are friends that have moved away, or just people that I've made friends with that don't live near me. I think my Facebook shows that I've got a global conscience, even if it is a bit extensive. But other than that, friends that share interests in common, like the Chester Poets and people I've been friends with a long time are on there. And then just to be cut off like that. It's my main account, you see. It's got, like I say, my poems, my pages, my business pages, a lot of things that are irretrievable. If they're lost, they nothing can bring them back. I've got pictures of my mum, my dad, my grandma, my aunts, Anthony and Diane, my cousin and his girlfriend, and my pets. Even though I've got one pet Facebook, I've just got more pictures of her and that are digitalised on there. All my interest groups. I know I like to share my knowledge and inspire people from everywhere with them. Not just my friends, but hopefully them too. And also I gain a lot by reading about knowledge, reading about information in different interest groups. I have got a blog that's independent of Facebook, but it hasn't got half the stuff that I've done on it and the resources that I've been inspired to develop, such as the Astro coaching idea, spiritual concepts. I'm welfare orientated, so I like to speak out and share opinions. And it's just, I know I'm still here. I've not gone the way of Jill Dando, but when the lady hacked into this is so silly. She's still got about 5 or 6 profiles using my name spelt in the wrong way, totally. And it just doesn't seem a very intelligent thing to do, but the only one that was deactivated was the one where she didn't just use my name, she actually hacked into my account. And because I reported it, it was deactivated, and that it deactivated it, and now I can't get back onto it because either they're sending it to the wrong email address or just not bothered. But I'm bothered because of all the work I put into various things and the connections and everything. I am totally bothered. The idea that some people say, oh well, you might never get it back, and being a bit blasé, or just warning me maybe. But I am very bothered by it. Yes, I've there's things that I've written on there that are personal, but I put them on there, and I want to read what they are and have them in my archive, which they are, but I can't see them now. I've got my stories, my fun stories, fun moments with friends. I'm just mortified. It's like a part of me has gone missing. Some of my relatives, or most of them, I should say, are no longer with us. But it's taken them, it's not just taken them, it's in a way that I could interact and people could like their photos. It's taken part of me because it's part of my personal expression is gone. So I shared quite a deep, sad song by Adele because that's how I'm feeling. I'm not normally the most emotional of people. I've had a few hard knocks in the past. I've lost 2 partners. And I've lost, well, not really a baby or a child, but a fetus. I've lost that with my second partner. He died really tragically because he had PTSD and he had a tragic life. he lost a child, a full-grown child of 3, and he died tragically. And before that, I was a carer many years before for another fiance who died of the big C, and I was a pathway carer. He didn't get the follow-up treatment from the Countess, so I put my all into the caring, but it didn't. He had prospects of living a bit longer than most sufferers with his type of illness, but it just didn't happen in spite of the extra care. So I got very stressed up, skin condition under my own arms, because his illness was in his esophagus and lungs. Under my arms went really bad, had to have skin grafts, and there's a high, even if they didn't kind of do everything with Andy that they could have done in the Countess, they were good with my skin grafts, and I couldn't praise them enough, the plastic surgeon that did it and the plastic surgery team. But I got sepsis because there was a high risk of it, and then after that got bone marrow suppression, which is basically immune suppression, which was severe, off work for a year, and then you get suppressed immune for ages after that and have to have flea jabs before your time. And I work, I've had the trauma of dealing with my partner's problem with his PTSD, whereby he was alcohol dependent, because Civvy Street was difficult to cope with because he'd done special unit training, and not got where he wanted because of the death of his child. I've always been a deep, seriously minded person, and I could relate to Graham Greene, who has the same, or had the same birthday as me, October the 2nd, in that I was quite a humble child, and I'm still quite a humble person in a way, but my confidence grew as an adult. But it's called humility, but everyone mattered to me. I was deep, I was serious, I was academic, so that's why I could relate to him. But after all my trauma, if I just reacted to that as well, because my dad was ill as well all during my childhood, and he had Hodgkin's disease when I was about 6, and then his bypass, because the heart valves were damaged also by the radiotherapy and scarlet fever. A single bypass wasn't enough back in the day, and his valves became leaking, so he was terminally ill by my late teens, and he'd started to be ill again when I was 12, so all through my adolescence. So it stops you from being perfect, because before I'd always been very spiritual, and it makes you a bit up and down during adolescence if you've got that to cope with, and you're kind of 4 years ahead with your reading age, so you're quite isolated as an only child. But then I matured quite quickly. As soon as I got to uni, I was pretty level-headed and have remained the same as a person ever since. And some members of my family, well, not some, maybe just the one, had, they drank heavily as well. Not my dad, he couldn't, but my cousin, and then he became quite dominant and controlling around the time Vince died, so that's another thing that I had to cope with. And then I tried to get social workers to sort it out. But the one on the job was, she hadn't qualified. She was like 21 maybe, if that. And I seem to be, I know people resent you if even they can be other women if you're well educated and you've got everything going for you. Ridiculously, if I'm older anyway. But, you know, people maybe don't like the way I look or things like that. Well, anyway, or they don't like your eyes. You know, there's that just anything. I rather than just be fair-minded. You know, you get things like you've asked for it. I hadn't at all. I mean, I was, even though I have good memories of him at one point, it wasn't just the, brings back the memory of the talented Mr. Ripley, but I've been tried to be pushed down the stairs, and ironically he was found down the stairs, but he'd got kidney failure, severe gout, and severe depression, which made him behave as if he had a psychosis. And I didn't get the help until afterwards from a more mature social worker, which, you know, and I was doing everything afterwards, like seeing to his affairs, and even though he seemed to become unpleasant, I did the funeral for him, which I'd never really arranged single-handedly because my mother had lost her capacity. Now, so I've had multiple traumas, so I'm quite a tough cookie. I had this teacher picking on me a bit just for being bright, it seemed, but mostly at infant school they liked me. And then if you move to somewhere else, you want a teacher to kind of embrace you and go out of the way to fit you in, so that didn't help during childhood. Because it's basically a sweet child who dreamt of helping other kids in hospices, as I've said before. But I did well to get to uni to do a subject like literature, and things smoothed out. But then I've had all this trauma in between, including being quite sort of physically ill myself. And then I got anxiety because of, well, my partner and my family member and things like that. And also you get anxious, your hormones rage during your teenage years, you're isolated because you're bright, but you want boyfriends and things like that. You know, it depends on, people are different, aren't they? Different needs, different development rates. I think the girls are a bit ahead. Well, anyway, so I being on the social media keeps me happy and bubbly, because then I don't go too deep. If I went deep like I did when I was a child, particularly in early childhood, I could end up driving myself potty as I'm getting a bit older. I keep light-hearted and my friends keep me light-hearted, but no, all this creativity, all my creativity, or most of it, and my connections with people have just been lost, because the other accounts don't have the wealth of information. They've only got about 2 friends from, or 3 maybe, that are on my main account. And there's some really nice people that I've met from the States, for example, on there. My business ideas, or like I say, what am I going to do? As I say, I mask my feelings, but I share the same birthday with Gandhi. I'm quite powerful, but, you know, it's so difficult now to cope with the potential of that just not coming back. I mean, the Just the Sci-Fi group, not just meeting them, but things like that. Loads and loads of interest groups and things that I can't retrieve on there, and I hope they just don't disappear into the ether, because I know the photo's still there. It's just that they don't, Facebook Meta don't send me the reset they say they're going to, and they don't. And 5 times a day I've been trying for the last 2 days, or more than that really. So I don't, I need more happiness now, because of what I've lost in the past, and that was really keeping me happy, as well as my stuff that I was doing, work, professional development, charity work. I just don't get, I mean, hopefully people that do YouTube will see this, or they could, because I've been mentioning it to Facebook Meta, and maybe they'll get the message more, or YouTube will help. I've thought about, it's cybercrime really, isn't it? But it's affecting me. I've thought about sort of mentioning it to the police, just in a non-emergency like way, seeing how they could help me. Because all my efforts are wasted, and this has happened with one site in particular before. Well, thank you for sort of letting this person have profiles with my name on it, and yet not making concerted efforts to let me reset my password with all my information on it. What can I say really? You know, I need some fun in my life. I hope that people say, oh well, they'll have to, because it's too much to lose. It's like losing a part of you. It's almost killed me off in the metaverse, hasn't it? The main part of me, my personal opinions, personal expression, photographs, it might come back. It's like losing a part of yourself. Yeah, definitely. Losing a part of your personality, that your ideas, or it's being stolen, isn't it? Basically, it's not in a less than 3-dimensional way. It's a crime. It's theft. It's like being burgled. It's your house of ideas and friends, contacts, and the ability to, it's all gone, stolen. There's only a small percentage of it remains in the spare accounts. But I've got other things, so hopefully I'm hoping YouTube will try and help, or it's going to be publicised and Meta will realise that they've got to help with this. I've got memories of my pets. There's nice pictures of animals that I share. What more can I say? Nothing really. I had trauma, but I was in the past, but I was keeping ahead of this as I grown up and beyond it, and looking forward to fun in the future. There's less fun, it's just nothing. Just the friends that I see, that's all. People that I'd like to keep in contact with, they've been pushed out too. I have to express this to people and speak to people, because it would send you crazy that. I don't know whether it's an act of resentment. It seems like just hacking, just to get something out of me, you know, to scam people, saying it's me, which is why they posted something. They changed my picture and then they posted something saying, oh, about friends, how long have you known your friend, how long have you known me? And it's just like, I knew she was being a feeder because she was wanting information on, so that she could be me. It's so weird. Might not be just be a scam, it might be just totally weird, like not sane almost. Because sometimes she'll put the name of a film star in front of my name, but relating it to her because she's got peroxide blonde hair, even though she's elderly, quite elderly. Odd. But they shouldn't be allowing her to do this, and they should be giving me the chance to reset my password and not just saying they will, just acting on it. It's making me feel lousy, actually, because I've been cheering myself up, like I say. Stops you from dwelling on the past and dwelling on my mum not being well. Because I'm always seeing my mum, so I don't really... My mum's got a low quality of life, but for someone younger, it's not always that great. I try to make the most of it, but my courses that I do and my learning, I've got a zest for learning, you see, that helps, but it's part of me has been stolen by this, and I don't like the idea of not getting it back. That's all I can say. I don't normally express my feelings, but I'm glad that I can do, at least on this.